Hello, my name is Bailey J. Charles, and today I'll be expanding some more on the Green Revolution and some farming practices that I talked about in my previous speech. In my previous speech, I talked about how the world's population is growing exponentially, where the Guardian reports that we're expected to have around 9.7 million people by the year 2050, and how the amount of arable land has shrunk by 33%. I also talked about some farming practices that help some farming practices that would help, like reduce erosion and help keep the land arable, like no-till farming, shelter belts, and the like. Today I'd like to talk about some other farming practices that have been monumental in helping feed the world's population. First, I'd like to talk about the use of fertilization methods. Now modern farming practices for fertilizing, you would get the pure form of the chemical. You'd go out and you'd buy 100% ammonia, and then you'd sprinkle it on the ground. Now some pushback or problems with this is that when you use this much of the fertilizer in its purest form, and when it rains off the land in runoff, it causes problems down in streams and other waterbeds. For example, the creation of algae blooms, which is basically when the ammonia and the nutrients from the land washes off because of rain from the fertilizer, and it enters the stream bed. The algae uses that nutrients to grow rapidly, and basically what happens is that it grows so fast that the predators can't eat it fast enough, and they consume all the oxygen, causing the whole ecosystem of the river to die. And once the algae is dead, you just have this muck of water that's going to take forever to come back to its natural state again. So that's some pushback to using natural fertilizers. But when used correctly and using statistics to test the land to see exactly how much of the fertilizer you need, it's much better than using natural methods where you just have to use manure or something of the like and just spread it out, because you're testing the land to see statistically just how much it would need. Now the next big method that I want to talk about, and it's really the largest part that's really started the Green Revolution, is the use of GMOs. Now GMOs are genetically modified organisms, and GMOs have been used in crops to help make them pest resistant, so people can use pesticides, which is not exactly the best method, but that's necessarily a topic for a different video. And also about how with GMOs it has been used to help create more nutritious food that's more nutritious, because as time gone on, people's food diets have narrowed to the foods that we know now, like the grains, rice, wheat, barley. We have tomatoes, fruit. We used to eat more diverse things, but it has narrowed into like of that. So, and in countries where people don't necessarily have as much range as we do now, when we enrich the food, that helps them there. Also, it's helped us in growing bigger foods. It also has helped us in growing bigger foods. These bigger foods help feed more people. Feed more people for head, because it's growing bigger food in smaller spaces. Thank you.